that? Okay, so I don't see anything, so I think it's good to go. So a little bit about the business plan. So our objective today is literally talk about what is the business plans and why do you need a business plan and how to create a business plan. So business plan is actually essential. If you've never done one before, I would highly recommend it for your business, especially startup, because a business plan, it just technically it's a written document describing your company core business value, the activity, the objective, and how you plan to achieve the goal of your business. Startup company use the business plan to get off the ground to attract outside investor and also lenders. So there are a lot of components in the business plan. So the one I'm showing you today is actually the business plan workbook. It was shared by one of my partner, and it's actually coming from a Capital One bank. It's one of my favorite one. I've been using the workbook for a long time, and it's actually all my students are actually really like the workbook because it literally gives you all the components for you to actually have a business plan ready to go. So there are 29 pages on this workbook. I'm not expecting us to go through all 29 pages today. In fact, I'm going to focus on the written part, which is the mainly the it's going to be the executive summary and the business description is what I'm going to be focusing on today. And that's going to be from page 1 to 7. The rest of the component on the business plan, if you have time, I highly recommend you to take a look at it, get familiar with this, and even a question or concern, you are more than welcome to reach out to myself. I think the Asian Chamber will, send out, what we plan to do is send out the workbook by the end of this presentations and my contact info. So if at the end of the presentation, you are more than welcome to ask a question, but also reach out to me if you have any questions. Operation for Hope is actually a nonprofit, so there's no charge or anything. There's no cost for getting anything from our services. So let us go with that. Let us go to talk about the business plan itself. A lot of you might ask, why is the business plan important? Why do I even need one? Well, the reason you need one, because you will actually, during the business plan, you will gain the in-depth knowledge about your business, which will make it easier to answer the lender questions. In process of writing the business plan, it also clarifies what is involved in making up your business work successfully. So the part we focus on today is really the business descriptions and the cover letter. That is something you can use to actually provide that to your lenders when you're asking for loans. And also you can provide that to your potential investor as well. And guys, I do have a tendency to speak really fast sometimes. So if y'all have, if you're like Michelle, you're speaking way too fast, please let me know. I'm more than happy to slow it down. So before you even sit down and write anything regarding to the business plan, you need to ask yourself these basic loan questions. So if you're objected to writing this business plan to get a loan from your lender or asking money for from your investor, these are some type of basic questions that you need to answer first before you, get a pen and paper out and actually write anything on that business plan. So ask yourself these questions. How much money do you actually need? What type of lender do I need? That's actually very important. Different banks, state or federal agency offer different type of lending. Meaning, if you're a startup, you might want to look for somebody that actually offer SBA loan or more of the startup loans. If you're an existing business, you can look for traditional lending, which is more like a bank, or also other investor out there. What is the lender minimum and maximum loan size? Most of startup businesses, when they get a loan, the loan size usually I would see about $50,000 or less. If your business need more than $50,000, obviously you need to be creative with that, or, find a lender that actually met, more than $50,000 on the loan side. And then when can the lender meet my person and future need? That's literally say, can the lender grow with me as my business grow? What type of businesses would the lender finance? Different lender finance different thing, and they call it a niche. So each bank or credit unions or anything you're looking out there, they have we call it a niche. So my previous bank, for example, that I work for, they have a niche in medical and professional industry. So if you fall into those categories, they know how to do it, and they will make sure they will do it right. If you are experienced, if you are, your business is regarding to manufacturing, you might want to find a lender that actually focus on that. What collateral does the lender accept? So typically the lender will use the AC rule to actually see if you can qualify for a loan. That typically include the credit, the business credit, the capacity, or your ability to repay the loan, capital, which is the money going into the business, collateral, what assets that you can offer to secure the loan, character, which is you, what is your personal credit history, condition, which is the economy, the finance, anything that affect your business, and the commitment, what is your ability and willingness to succeed in this business, your cash flow, can it support the business debt and expenses. These are just some basic type of the question that the lender will ask you. They will definitely ask you more than this, by the way, but these are some type of, just some basic questions. Of course, how much money do you need? How much are you investing in the business? How much the loan will be used? How long do you repay? How long do you need to repay the loan? And how will the loan be repaid? What collateral do you have to offer? And I would highly recommend before meeting with the lender, you give them a call ahead of time, find out about the rule for the business loan. Make sure the lender is looking for the loan of your size and type. That's very important. Again, every lender has a niche. Make sure you find out what they can offer. Ask for a loan application ahead of time, so this way you can be more prepared when you meet with them in person. Make an appointment. And if you have time, rehearse your presentation, because the lender is just like a customer. You have to convince the lender that your business actually has merit, that's going to work. And yeah, so it sound ridiculous, but rehearse your presentation is one of the things I do highly recommend when you want to ask for other investor or lender for a loan. So business, continue on the business loan basis. When meeting with the lender, it would be great if you can bring the business plan, which is something that we are going to talk about today, a complete loan application, and any other material that you think that you could bring to support, your business as part of your business plan. Keep the entire, if you plan to do the presentation, keep it under 30 minutes. Give an overview of the outline at the beginning and know how you are going to end the presentations. Also, if you are existing or you have a proposed operation, it's great. It's nice that you can invite the lender for a tour, so they have an idea of what it's going to look like. Answer all your negative questions with positive answer, and be willing to back up your answer. Just mean, if you're a startup company, the lender might say, oh, you do not have like 2 years of history in your business, or your credit business is not, is not high enough. Whatever the question that might sound like negative question to you, just make sure you prepare for those answer, to prepare for those questions and answer in like in the best that you can. And be willing to back up your answer. You can say, I am a startup company. I do not have a lot of capital, nor the 2 year experience, but I'm passionate about this. And these are X, Y, Z that I think my company is going to be succeed. Find out when you can expect a decisions. And when you get the decision from the lender, whether through a phone or email, just make sure you have it in writing. Sometimes, it's a lot of information and the lender or yourself might forgot what the discussion about. Just make sure to get in writing is one of the things that I would recommend all my business owner to do. And it would be nice if you can follow up with everything with a thank you letter or phone call. So we are moving on to the part, one of the crucial part of the business plan is going to be the executive summary and the business plan. So the executive summary basically is called your cover letter, sorry. So whenever you apply for a job, you want to have a really beautiful cover letter. Same thing when you want to apply for a loan or asking for funding from other investor, you want to have a nice cover letter. So it's going to be your executive, we call it executive summary. Under your executive summary, it should include the owner name and the credential, your products and services, the markets and the competition, the amount of money needed, how the loan will be repaid, and how long you want the loan to last. It's going to be a lot of information, so please don't get overwhelmed. I will go literally one by line so we can take a look at this a little more in detail. I'm going to zoom it in just a little bit. Okay, so this is one of the examples of what your cover letter should be, something like this. All right, so as this is an example and it's really nice. It's already in, it have all the detail that required in the cover letter. As you can see on the top, of course, the date, the name of the business, the address, and then this is actually a landscaping company requesting a loan to have their own business. So they list the purpose. So you do want to list at the beginning the purpose of the loan, or you starting a business, or you buying, or you expanding your business. You want to include the owner name and experience, mention about your product and services. For example, they literally say with 20-year management experience in residential landscaping business, we are requesting a loan to start our own landscaping business called the Green Growth. Sorry, guy, I cannot speak today. But and then that's just a quick summarize of who they are and what experience do they have. Okay, and then you're gonna move on to the your markets and your customer. That will be this paragraph right here. They are focused on the news and older home. They're planning to reach out to them. And then include the key about your competitions. They say, hey, there are 6 of them. There are 6 local competitors out there. The last 2 were the healthy competitions, but they lack on marketing and management expertise. So that's about your competition. Then you can talk about how much money you need to finance and the term, how long you need the loan for. And list out the resource of the repayment, how are you planning to repay the loan? And also include how much you're going to investing, also include how much you are investing and where your money will come from. So they are investing $75,000 and they were in saving and requesting $300,000 loan from the bank. And also they also listed the secondary source of repayment right here. So our secondary source of repayment will be from collateralized equipment, business, our homes and business asset value of $300,000. Also offers collateral for loan. So as you can see, they make it very clear on each sections. At the end, you definitely need to include a source of contact information, your contact information, how they're going to contact you, and of course your name and your signature. So this is one of the very clear examples that this workbook had that I really like. The greatest thing about this workbook is we do have the executive summary as basically your cover letter, and we do have a template for it. So literally you can use this symbol, like this is actually a symbolized cover letter. You can literally just print this out and literally, handwrite or type in your company information. You can change it up however you see it fit, but literally we do have a template ready to go if you want to give that a shot. And then we're moving on to the business descriptions. The business description is actually, it literally depends the picture of who you are and what is your company overall look like. So in general, we do want you to include the business name, of course, the mailing address, contact information, and a website if you do have one. The owner, you have to list all the owner here. It's very important because any owner that owns 25% or more, of your business, they do need to be on the loan as the applicants. So any owner that owns 25% or more, even though you think you do not want them to be on the loan application, they still have, it is requirement that they have to be on it. And then of course you want to list all the owners, the contact information, social security number, And then, just a brief description about the experience and potential. Then you're moving on to your legal business. Are you an S Corp, C Corp, or are you a sole partnership or LLC? So you do want to list that in there as well as your legal status. Then the perfect describe the intent of your business. What is your business? What does it do? Just a short summary. You don't have to write a whole paragraph. It's just a short and sweet couple of sentences here. Or you a startup or existing businesses. That would be listed right under that. And then the type of businesses, are you a retail, wholesale, service, manufacturing, professional? That would be listed. That has to be listed as well. And then we're gonna go through the reason. Why are you starting your own business? Or are you buying a new business? Why are you buying a new business? Or what the reason if you are existing business? Why are you expanding? So just to give a quick little few sentences about the reasoning for that. The goal, very important. You have to include the current and also long-term goal. That will give the lender or potential investor a picture of like, where are you going with your company? Where is it going to take place in 5-10 years from now on? This is the goal where you can give them a vision of what the company is their future to go to grow in your company. The industry, talk about what's going on in your industry, include economic trend, outlook, growth patterns, and forecast. You can give this session short, but you can explain it more on the marketing section, but just keep this in short. So a lot of my client in Austin, Texas, the industry is very important because Austin, it tends to be a little more healthier side right now, in my personal opinion. So we have a lot of growth in like, healthcare products, and I see a lot of like nutrition shop or healthy food restaurants out there. So if you are in that industry in Austin, the chances that you succeed are very highly compared to other industries. So my client tend to put that in there, like, hi, my focus is in, health industry, focus on XYZ. And that is the trend that going on my current city, and that has been very successful. So I'm just giving you guys an example of what you can put in there. And also professional relationship. If you have any professional relationship, this is basically your business preferences, that they are willing to work with you and to be a reference on you. Put them on there, because that say a lot about your business. They can contact one of those, and of course they are willing to be contacted by the lender or potential investor to vouch for you. If you have any of those, just make sure you list them all, the contact information, the name, and everything. So that is something that, and you don't need a lot. The more you can use, like up to 4 or 5 of them, but I would say at least 3 would be preferable. And again, this is one thing, I like about this workbook, because it has the business descriptions template ready to go. So again, what we talk about on the page on the example right here, we literally have a template that kind of summarize what we talk about right here. So you guys can actually download, again, this business description and start, plugging the information from your company. I want to go back to the beginning of the business plan right here. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So to write a business plan, there are a lot. This is actually a 29 pages workbook. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I will not go to all the pages simply because we just don't have the time today. But I want you guys to start focusing on at least page 1 to 7. That's what we're gonna be focusing on today. So just focus on page 1, 7. Just look at all the template and start writing your business plan. At least you will have the executive summary and business description ready to go. Why that is because that will be your bare minimum to have something ready to present it for your investor and also your lender if you try to obtain a loan from them. And then we also, in this workbook, they will also talk about managers and employee section, like how do you manage your employee? How many employees you have? Who are the manager? Basically the operation of your company. The operation and the locations, the marketing piece is actually another one, which is the really big one. If you're buying a business or you actually buy a franchise, and what is that loan request will look like? Financial statement usually include everything about personal finance, balance sheet, income statement, cash flow. In my opinion, financial statement should have its own class. It's actually a very important one. It's very lengthy. It's a little bit more of understanding, a little bit more on the accounting side, understanding your personal finances, know what is the cash flow, how to balance how to do a balance sheet and how to make an income statement, all of that. So again, like I say, we don't have a lot of time to cover the whole workbook today, but we are planning to send out the workbook. So if you guys have any questions or concern, I think the Asian Chamber will also send out my contact information as well. You are more than welcome to work with me, reach out to me, and then I can help you guys on that. We can literally schedule and go one by one on each component on this workbook. And we can go from there. But if we look at this workbook, you guys, again, like I mentioned, we do not have the time to go on each component today. But what make this workbook great is that it covers each session in very detail. And don't be overwhelmed with information. It's a lot of information. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of information. But my personal preference is each week, pick one component on the workbook and work on them. One week you can work on the operation and location, and then another week work on the marketing piece. And then another week you can work on the loan request. So every component on this workbook will be break down very specific. Also a personal financial statement. If you don't know what it look like, that will tell you exactly. It have a little template to tell you what it look like. And the balance sheet, this is what the balance sheet would look like as well. And here we go, income statement. So literally, like I mentioned, every single component will be this. The ratio, which is the last sessions, I would not want you guys to be focusing on this, only because the ratios is more of the behind the scene kind of thing for the lender. This is what they typically use to calculate whether your debt to income ratio, your liquidity ratio, all of this would be on the, basically in the behind the curtain kind of work for the lender. So you don't really need to familiarize with these, but if you want to know what they're doing, or if you just want to have an idea how they get the numbers somehow, this is actually all the ratio that they will be calculated when you submit the applications. And different ratio. So yeah, and also the financial formula. So from page 28 to the last page 29, those are just literally on the lender side, just give you an insight what they do to calculate your loan side and calculate what they can offer and calculate if you can actually qualify for the loan. I think I'm actually ahead of my time actually. But with that, again, I think Mort will be the one that touch base on how we're gonna send the business plan workbook to you guys, and also we'll be touch base how we can get the contact information out there.
Yes, thank you. I would like to encourage those who are participating, if they have any questions, we do have time for questions.
Yes.
You can put them in the question and answer section or even in the chat section, and I will read them. And Michelle is very happy to explain. And by the way, now as you're showing this workbook, Michelle, I'm pretty impressed by how detailed it is. Not just giving an example, but explaining the context of every paragraph. It's very helpful.
Yes, like I say, I wish we have 2 hours. I will be more than happy to really go on every component of it. But I really want to cover the business cover letter, the executive summary, and the business description, because again, when you get those two complete, that will actually give you a list, like a full picture of what you're looking at financial wise. And then from there, you can work your way up.
Thank you. Any questions from participants today?
Yes, I think I
And
see a question. You want to take care of that, or you want me to answer that?
go ahead if you see a question.
Yes. So the question from Catherine, can you send the workbook with the part about buying business or franchise or business, please? Yes. So I will send you the full workbook. We're not going to take big and paste it. We will send you full workbook because we want you, because we don't have the time to cover the entire workbook today. But I do want you guys to have that as, after the presentation. I believe Mark will send it out for you guys. So you have the full workbook that cover everything. And again, like I say, if you have any, if you go through the workbook and there's a section in there that you were concerned or you're not quite understand what's going on, and you have question about, you are more than welcome to contact me, and I will happy to discuss with you about it.
All right. Any other questions? And just to confirm once again, I will be sending an email out to all those who participated with the workbook, as well as a feedback form. And it's not too long, so please take the time to give us some feedback so that we can continue to provide this program and other services to our members. Any more questions, Michelle, do you see?
Not in the chat right now. I don't think so. Not in the chat, no.
All right, well, that's been excellent. Thank you so much, Michelle Vo, for coming and bringing your expertise and this wonderful step-by-step business plan for the participants today. And yep, with that, we'll go ahead and end the recording.